warm welcome to India's largest platform for entrepreneurs, Leaders of Tomorrow. I'm Pooja Jain, and on the show tonight we bring you our special series, Eye on Dubai, featuring some of the most innovative UAE-based businesses. We're in conversation with UAE's aviation giant, Emirates. And later on in the show, we caught up with the face and frontrunner in India's fight against COVID-19, Bharat Biotech. Today on our Eye on Dubai special series, we turn the lens towards UAE's aviation space. We'll do a deeper dive on how COVID-19 has transformed the aviation industry, the impact of Dubai Expo 2020 on the space, and what makes for sustainable business practices in the context of the aviation sector. Here are the highlights of the conversation between my colleague Sunanda Jayasilan and Mohammad Sarhan, Vice President for India and Nepal, Emirates.
Mohammad, thanks for having this chat with us here on the show and really talking about what's happening as far as aviation is concerned, as far as travel is concerned, in the big picture here at the start of 2022. Lots of things are changing, but I'd love to get your view really on how those things are changing and your plan really for the next couple of months and for the rest of the year. So good having you here with us. Maybe you could start by talking about what's really going on as far as the travel and the aviation market in Dubai is concerned. You look very closely, of course, at the India market. I'll come to that next. But what can you tell us on Dubai?
Thank you, Sunanda, for having me. Actually, the second half of year 2021 was very good when we start to ramp up our operation, ramp up our network. And by the end of 2021, we operated 90% of our network. That's 128 destinations has been restored all over our network. And the numbers gradually start to pick up. And it was a very good story out of India. And Dubai was one of the main destinations for our Indian travelers. So as things are ramping up, of course, we got into a bit of a hiccup with Omicron, and things are readjusting now. But the outlook is very positive, and people are ready to travel and willing to travel. And we also make it we assure our customers in terms of the whole process of traveling, starting from the check-in process where we have all the biometric stuff. So far, it has been a good story and a quick recovery from the pandemic.
Absolutely. And I want to pick up on what you were saying, that everyone's plans of reopening, of growth coming back really faced a bit of a hiccup because of the Omicron variant that we're seeing. With that being said, really talk to us about maybe 2 or 3 trends that we're seeing in the broader aviation market when it comes to travel, and if you could specifically focus on the India market and just talk to us on that.
Dubai was a main destination. Especially in Dubai, they've managed the pandemic in a very well-balanced manner, keeping the health, of course, as the main factor, and also at the same time keeping social life and economy as the other 2 pillars. Sure. And they've done a very balanced approach for that. So tourism has picked up, and thanks to Expo 2020, which has boosted the tourism even further, and people were very interested and willing to travel to Dubai to visit Expo, and of course all the other attractions in Dubai.
And I will come back and talk to you about the Expo and what it has meant in terms of increased traffic. But first, I want to talk about the India market and why it is such a crucial market for Emirates. In previous conversations we've done over previous years here off the show, we've always spoken about the significance of India and Indian travelers really for a company like yours. Why are you so excited about the Indian market? What kind of growth perhaps are you targeting here? What can you tell us?
Emirates Airline and India has a long story. Since Emirates Airline has been established in 1985, Bombay and Delhi were one of the first destinations we fly to. And since then we have grown our network in India and our frequencies. Today we operate to 9 destinations all over India, to and from those 9 destinations, which we have a good coverage all over India. And of course, the Indian diaspora is all over the world, and Dubai is one of the places where lots of Indians have Dubai as their home. So yes, India is one of our biggest markets, and it's a very key market for us, and we are very committed to the Indian market.
I also want to talk to you about the increased safety measures which airlines like yours are taking. And we speak every day with small businesses, of course, nothing on the scale really of a business in a company like Emirates. My question is, these increased safety precautions and measures comes with an increased cost. Just talk to us, if you're talking to someone who's watching this interview, about how these costs are now going to become a part and parcel really of doing business. And going forward, how businesses like yours are ensuring that on one hand you are keeping safety protocols in mind, because I think COVID and these restrictions perhaps for the next year or so are definitely here to stay. And on the other hand, there's the cost associated with it, and for a smaller business that's definitely a high cost. How are you managing it?
The health and safety of our customers and our colleagues also is a paramount, and we've took a lot of measures to ensure and to assure our customers that the journey are smooth, and that's starting from the check-in using the biometrics. And Dubai have launched a biometric tunnel where you don't have to touch anything, you just can clear immigration just passing by that tunnel. And on board also, we've taken all the safety measures, from sanitizing seats, from using HEPA filters, which eliminates 99.9% of the viruses. Yes, it is a cost, but we will always make sure the health and safety of our customers and crew is always a priority.
Anything else that you want to elaborate for us in terms of some of the safety and the health initiatives that you've been taking at the Emirates, for the benefit of our viewers?
From the other side, in terms of from Sky Cargo, since the beginning of the pandemic, Emirates have carried millions of vaccines all over the world, and we have worked closely with governments and also with the Indian government in specific on transporting vaccines all over the world. And also since that time, we also did a lot of evacuation flights and repatriation flights. Again, working closely with the government bodies, we've managed to reunite a lot of families around the world. Also, in terms of cargo, we have transported a lot of medical supplies, food supplies, because at the beginning of the pandemic, the logistics has been a little bit disturbed, and Emirates had played a very good role into covering that.
Mohammad, you were very briefly talking about the Expo, so I just want to go back to that and talk about the fact that, on one hand, of course, the Expo was a never before coming together of countries on one platform, ensuring that all COVID protocols were being followed. And on the other, the business opportunity it meant for airlines like yourself, which were flying in people from all over the world, including from India. What did that really mean for you? What was that period like for you? What sort of perhaps increase in passengers did you see? Anything you can tell us?
Emirates Airline is a premium partner for Expo 2020. And since Dubai is the hub and the home of Emirates, Expo happening in Dubai is a very key thing for us. Since the beginning of Expo in October 2021 until the end of December, Expo attracts 9 million visits, which it's a major thing for Dubai and for the airline, of course.
Sure.
Emirates Airline itself has a pavilion in Expo, and the theme of that pavilion is the future of travel.
Sure.
And it attracts a lot of visitors from all over the place. Also, not to forget the Indian pavilion, and actually it is one of the biggest pavilions in Expo 2020, has attracted also a lot of visitors with a lot of events happening there. So I really encourage people to visit Expo 2020, and it's an opportunity. 2 months and a half remaining until the end of Expo 2020, which is end of March 2022.
My last question to you, Mohammad, the focus on the environment now has just become that much more than ever before, thanks to the pandemic. And businesses like yours are ensuring that you are doing everything that you can to bring down, your carbon footprint. There's a focus really on going as green as possible. Maybe some measures that you're taking as far as sustainability in the environment is concerned, and we could end the interview with that.
Yes, one of the key things Emirates have been doing is to reduce emission and consume responsibly, and also investing on the wildlife. From reducing emission, we work closely with the aircraft manufacturers to ensure that the aircraft has been utilized to the best. Our aircraft's average age is 6.5 years, which ensure on one side the best for our consumers, and on the other side, having those aircrafts are very efficient and very sustainable. Recently, we have launched a program with Boeing and to start sustainable aviation fuel, and by the end of 2022, we will operate a test flight with sustainable aviation fuel.
Well, that brings this interview to a close, but we'll continue to bring you engaging conversations from the UAE region. On that note, it's time for a short break. But next up, Krishna of Bharat Biotech sheds more light on India's COVID-19 situation and healthcare space at large. Stay with us. Welcome back, you're watching Leaders of Tomorrow. And tonight on the show, we feature India's first COVID-19 vaccine maker and incidentally, recipient of the Leaders of Tomorrow Award 2016, Dr. Krishna, Chairman and Managing Director of Bharat Biotech. Have a look.
Thank you so much for taking the time and for agreeing to do this interview.
Thank you, Sunana. Thank you for being there.
Let's talk about PPP in healthcare, sir. I do know that you are a believer of public-private partnerships as far as healthcare is concerned. How can we encourage more PPP, and what's perhaps holding back more of these, PPPs being signed when it comes to the healthcare space?
So I'm a strong believer of public partnership for various reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, we need to put a pressure on the government public system. The scientists who are working in that system should have a pressure to deliver something for the society. Only company can put the pressure on that. The same way, the company has to have a transparency of building a critique of the science. What industry is doing science has to be critiqued by internally by my partner.
Sure.
Okay, that gives a public partnership another angle to bring the two issues together in a different manner. And third is, I'm a strong believer. 1 + 1 should become 11, not 1, 2. Okay, and these two intellectual thinking interaction always brings the best in the people's mind and good for the society at large. That is what we want. The government is also working for the society's sake. Industry also, when I want to work on society's sake, I'm also looking at solving some problem of the society so that I also make money in the process.
Sure.
Okay, so both are integrated in a way.
As far as R&D is concerned, some of your peers, including large pharma companies based here in Bangalore, have said that there is absolutely no incentive being given to original R&D, and that's perhaps what is holding back the Indian pharma industry. What sort of incentives, in your mind, Dr. Ella, should be given by the government for R&D in the pharma industry?
This is a very difficult question to answer, honestly. But you look at it, earlier in Ranbaxy, which is now Sun Pharma, Reddy Lab, everybody invested in R&D in the beginning. For some reason, there was no success in that place. What has happened? Okay, you look at the history back last 25, 30 years, they all invested in R&D. It's not that they were not invested.
Yes.
All invested, but nothing has came a success. Why it does not come a success? I do not know the reasons, but I can have multiple reasons for that. But the country was not well prepared because the generic business giving enough revenue for them. So there was no push for them to develop innovation. And if there is innovation also, not getting a high value in this country. In the US, a small company, small idea gets $1 billion valuation. Nothing, no revenue. Okay. So in India, still that is not, maturity is not there yet to recognize the valuation for the innovation. And I think once that comes, automatically everybody will start innovating. That will happen. So I think the government scheme is not an important aspect of it for innovation, because all innovation doesn't cost much money. Honestly, who creates innovation? It's individual who creates innovation. Not by Bharat Biotech doesn't create innovation. It's an individual scientist who are in the company creates innovation. So you need to build an extremely good human resource first.
Absolutely.
Who can build a passion in them to make it to happen, innovation, something to happen. And that is what they required in the country right now.
Very well said, Dr. Ella. And I'm going to come and talk about some of the organizations that you are a member of promoting scientific education. Just before I come to that, though, we're talking to you ahead of the budget. If there's something that you would like to see by way of announcement from the finance minister for vaccine makers like yourself, what would it be? When
a country is facing the problem, when a society is facing the problem, I don't want to go and exploit the government. Give me money. I want to make a vaccine. If you don't give me money, I will not make a vaccine.
Sure.
That's a selfishness. I think every one of us should think in a different direction to help the society at large and move on. Whatever we had internal revenue, internal accruals. We put that into 800 crores into our clinical trials and all that expenses. We did ourselves all the clinical trials, moved it. And I think, we should not expect too much from the government. And I think we should look at it. Each company can develop one new molecule, and that can be made a global. They have to look at simple thinking, bigger picture. One single molecule. Each company, let us assume 50 companies, pharma companies in this country, each one develops one new molecule in their lifetime and make it as global molecule. And I think we are totally different country. That doesn't need a money. It needs a time, passion, and human resources to drive that.
We're speaking to you even as India has achieved a landmark figure in terms of the total number of adult Indians who are vaccinated. But there's still a long way to go. The government, of course, is approaching a bit of a carrot and stick kind of an approach. What are your views as far as universal vaccination is concerned? How do you think more and more Indians can be encouraged to get vaccinated? What's perhaps holding back those who are not vaccinated from doing so?
I mean, the vaccine hesitancy is a common thing in any society. Okay. And I think whatever they have their opinions, and I respect that also. Okay. I respect their opinion also. But I think we can't make a compulsory vaccination, not possible in a democratic system. We can't make it. China can make it, but not India. And I think, we have to respect everybody, religion, cultural, and their fundamental rights. We have to respect that. But I think what is important is just education and tell good science. These are science. This is the safety, this is adverse reaction. We have to put forward truthfully, these are the problem, these are the good things. These are bad things. Choice is yours. And I think if somebody is not vaccinated, and I think the other people who are nearby should know that this man is not vaccinated, so that others can take some precaution. So if that is protected, I think it should be all right.
That being said, Dr. Ella, I know you're a firm believer in the power of technology, really, especially where vaccines are concerned. For our young entrepreneurs who are watching this interview, if you could tell them what are the specific maybe areas or sectors under the medical and pharma space that you believe are going to be game changers. And we're talking, of course, at a time when you've seen a startup in the pharma space becoming, acquiring a publicly listed company. I mean, we've even reached that level. What do you think is perhaps going to be those trends or those companies or businesses that you want to point out for our entrepreneurs?
You look at it, artificial intelligence. In epidemiology, look at epidemiology. Can I predict, potato grown in Himachal Pradesh, can I predict what disease will come? Based on the artificial intelligence, based on the epidemiological data. These new generation entrepreneurs have not started in this country yet. Okay, what is predictable model in animal science? Okay, what disease will come in animals? What disease will come in the human? And suppose why is so much of diabetic people in particular state? What is the food habit? What can we change? So some artificial intelligence and machine learning, like for a diagnostic, machine learning will come into the picture. And how do you put the machine learning diagnosing a clot in the heart? The cardiologist cannot take a decision. But the machine learning can take millions of patients' data, put together, and then assess, okay, this is the probability of this one. Use a decision for a cardiologist. This is the way to go about it. Some sort of a decision-making process can come from a lot of IT-related businesses. Sure. And I look at smartwatches, how it become a health conscious about the watch itself. The entire technology can be integrated into the small watch now. And I think it's going to change the game. For example, old patients now, old people who are going to live in a home, some other assisted home, they're not going to have help from anybody. So can have a robot. The robot can read the story for them, can read the newspaper for them, and can also tell them which tablet to take it. A simple thing. And it's going to change the game, the healthcare sector.
I was looking at your website, sir, and the head of R&D has been listed as a woman, and that was very encouraging to see. I do know that your wife, Mrs. Suchitra Ella, plays a very active role in the company. She's joint managing director as well. And that really is my question. How can we perhaps encourage more women entrepreneurs when it comes to technical industries, when it comes to the pharma and medical space?
It's extremely good question, Sunanda. The biotechnology students in this country, 65% of the biotechnology students are women candidates in the entire country. 60% women candidates. You look at B pharmacy, again women candidates. Unfortunately, if those human resource doesn't get into the mainstream of the science, we lose out the entire 60% of the human resources. That's a sad part. We tell all these employees in the company, and we are the only I'm proud to say, my wife is CAA, started Women's Network. She was the founder of the Women's Network in Confederation of Indian Industry, founder of the Women's Network. She's the Indian Women's Network. She started there. And also the company, we have 36% of women workforce in the company. Many pharma company doesn't recruit women candidates, but we have manufacturing to R&D to formulation to packing, everywhere women. 36% is a woman workforce. We have 4 head of the department are women forces in the company. So we give a lot of importance because it is not only we give, equality is my wife believes it, but I don't believe in equality. I believe in other way. I believe woman is a meticulous in a micro issues. They look at very issues. They're extremely good in the quality consciousness. Okay. So the quality department, I feel a lot of women, and the clinical research also, I feel a lot of women who are concerned for the people. They are much more committed to the work. And if the family life is taking care of it, they are the best employees.
Thank you for everything that you're doing as far as the vaccines are concerned, and all the very best for the rest of 2022.
Thank you, Sunanda. Honored to be with all of you. Thank you.
Well, that brings tonight's feature to a close, but as always, do stay connected with us. We'd love to hear from you. Our contact details are on your screen. Thanks for tuning in.